Good evening, guys. It's a quick tutorial. Actually, it's a request to create the Apex character ability, Bloodhound, and the ability is called Eye of Allfather. So, let's begin. First of all, we need to open our project settings, because we will be using stencil to mask out the object that is covered with some obstacle. To make it work with stencil, under the rendering category, we need to look for post-processing and then select enabled with stencil in a field called custom depth stencil path. Once done, we can continue. So here this post-process that we will be applying on our camera. So this one is simple masking out the final color of our post-process with the red color of our enemy. That's is going to be filled in with the solid contour. So scene depths, custom depths, everything that is in the scene depths will be with like final color, and everything that is in the custom depths will be colored with this particular logic. So here we simply lerp between the solid color, it's the red one, and other also post process input, it's also final color, and we use the bit mask that actually everything with the stencil of 0 and other stencils will return the post-process input 0, this one. Everything that is using the stencil 1 will return the red mask. So that's how this actually works. And particularly this if node, this condition, this logic, helps us to withdraw post-process colorizing if something is in the direct view, and everything that is under the obstacle, like wall, foliage, etc., will be colorized with our post-process, our masking process, this one. Next thing is to recreate the scanning ability, and for this we use this kind of logic. So post-process mask RGB, so we can manipulate with the simple color and its alpha channel, which actually lerps between the final color and like colorized version of our scan mask, and the alpha is actually the shape of our mask. So like everything that's is including this range of our sphere mask will be covered with this logic. Everything that is outside of our range will be our final color. I hope you understand what I'm trying to explain you. So the sphere mask actually it's the solid circle, and if we use a sign on the sphere mask, we will receive sort of donut. So it's like yeah, it's a donut shape, and we need to saturate it. So because alpha need to be like from 0 to 1, so saturate or clamp will make it work. Everything that is like if this one is 0, we will have this logic. If it's 1, we will have this logic. Also, as you can see, sphere mask uses camera position and absolute wall position. So because we always have camera, this logic will return like the proper position of our character in the world. And scan radius, we will be changing this scalable attribute through the blueprint to make it work as the animation. So let me demonstrate you. Like if we press F, this animation is actually changing the radius here. And of course, as I said, if we don't use sine, let's wait for shaders to compile. Now if I press F, you can see we have the solid circle. Next thing here is the scan opacity. By default, all the values here should be 0, because we need to have them change via the blueprint. Scan opacity here needs we need it also to be the scalable attribute, because we will be changing it also through the blueprints, and we will go with 1 that will be diminishing to 0 over the time. So we will receive the soft effect of our mask disappearing. Also, this attribute is the same here to actually learn between the scanning ability, which is followed by the masking out the character ability. Also make sure that it's the post process, and to if you don't like to have any artifacts, you should go and choose blendable location before translucency or before tone mapping. So here is the post process. Make sure that stencil that you will use here, you will use the same value in our logic here. So one more quick thing, it's our enemy. It's a simple actor. I have capsule components which stores skeletal mesh. It's a simple mock-up of our enemy, and that's all that we need to have. Now the logic for the ability, and that's the whole ability itself. So I do have the separate event graph, eye of Allfather. On when begin play, we need to create the dynamic material instance of our post process and store it. Next, if I press F key, I check on the condition. As you can see, I have some variables. Can use I. I call it I, but I don't like to have the full name. Or you can rename it to can use ability. By default it's true, and if it's true we need to deactivate it. Then we need to add or update blendable for our first person camera. And here is the animation of our scan ability. It's a simple timeline with these values 0, 0. Animation here is the length is 3 seconds, and on the 3 seconds we have a value of 1. So it's simple gradient from 0 to 1, normalized 1. I store it as alpha, and then here you can see I use on my material instant dynamic. I set scalar attribute scan radius, this one. With this logic, we multiply alpha on our eye radius. By default it's 5000 units. So with this animation we will receive pulsing animation. Also, scan opacity here is a little bit tricky. I use 1 minus alpha, because alpha by default is 0 and it's going to increase. So we need to make it work perfectly for our animation to disappear, we need to subtract our alpha from 1. If you don't do this, and we use 1 here instead, now that's what we will have at the end. And we don't need to have this. So that's why we need to have this. Also, let's go with proper animation. For shaders. Okay, let's wait them to compile, and we can stick to our logic. So it's on update. Make sure that it's the logic you call is from the start. Every time you press, you need to play it from the start. Then we need to multi-sphere trace by channel. It's our actor location, and radius here that we use for our scan radius is the same for our multi-sphere trace. We need to ignore cell, and here for each loop, because this one we need to actually track every actor that is like in our site radius. So for this one, multi-sphere trace. Then for each loop we check on the hit actor that it's our enemy, so we need to cast to it this one. If it's true, we actually keep it or store it to the array of actors. It's our I list. Then on complete, make sure that everything is made goes straightforward from like loop and complete. We don't need to make this one here. Let's make it more clear. So next step is iterate through the iList array. Here we get a component by class. It's our skeletal mesh component. It can be a primitive component. So for this, we set random custom depth true and value of 1 for our custom depth stencil. Next thing on complete, this one is the timer. It's not looping. And this one timer is actually the cooldown of our ability. So not cooldown, but the it can be like it's simplified version. We can have like a cooldown, but I didn't do this. I made some sort of a mixture. So the effect will last 20 seconds. And while it lasts, I can't use or prolong the ability. So 20 seconds, I'll call another custom event, which is called clear iList. Here we do the same, but like the same that we did here. We iterate through our array list. We deselect custom depths and we return the default stencil value to 0. On complete, we need to clear our array, set the ability for our can use I to true, and we need to deactivate the blendable from our camera. And one more time, that's how this effect works. Perfectly fine. One more thing, as you can see, we need to go to our player character, and for our mesh and our weapon, these two elements, we need to go to custom depth pass and select them to be true. If you don't do this, we'll receive this sort of effect. And we don't need to have this. So actually using custom depths with the default value helps sometimes, because stencils and post processes are very common today, and this workaround is actually quite good. So I hope you guys like what you've seen. I will leave the link for the sample project under the description to this tutorial. Please subscribe, leave your feedback, leave your requests. I do have Discord channel, also Patreon, in case you like to support me. So I guess see you soon. Bye.